All right, what's happening? Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz, Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. Hard to believe we're already been with May. Hey, McLovin. How's it going, Jay?
Hey, it's going well, man. It's going well, man. Got some really good playoff basketball last night. Congratulations on your win, Frankie. James and Davis really stepped up big, and man, hell of a game.
Also joined by Mike Hughes. How's it going, Mike?
Yeah, you know me, got the number one pick. How you doing? That's 2 for 2, Gonzo. Just need one more. The Bulls get number one. I'm never gonna shut the fuck up, I promise ya. That was it.
Also joined by the stat guy. How's it going?
How you doing, stat guy?
Going well. Just lost two more sports legends this morning in Joe Cap and Danny Crum, so we continue to lose some very important sports figures over the last couple of years.
And also joined by Frankie Lake Show. How's it going?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Oh man,
I'm chilling. I'm victorious.
Did you just wake up, Gonzo?
no, I've been up for a while. I'm still trying to recover from the weekend, man. I done 12 live wrestling shows over the weekend. So it's been a long weekend at the Comic-Con, so I'm still working on getting back to normal after that. But Ray kind of mentioned it. NBA basketball had a couple games yesterday. And Knicks and Heat up 3-1 in that one now. You guys think there's any chance of the Knicks coming back?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
So,
no. Mm-mm. No, I think the Heat are just going to be too much for them. Adebayo, he had a really good game last night. I watched him do a couple of things I thought were really good. He typically haven't seen him done before, but he blocked some shots, got a little bit more physical than what I'm used to. So, yeah, I definitely think the Heat are going to take this one. Brunson and them, it's not going to be enough.
What kind of physical are you used to, Jay?
Oh, Lord. I plead the fifth.
Okay.
He's fisted.
Wow, it's that guy for the win. How you doing?
Yeah, I think for the Knicks to have any chance, they're going to need Julius Randle to step up and play some basketball.
No, for the Knicks to have any chance, they need to hope Jimmy Butler doesn't show up the rest of the series.
Yeah. I also think playing Derrick Rose a few minutes wouldn't kill anybody. Yeah, and that's not me being biased either. I just think, they're really – Tibbs made a comment saying that he wants the young guys to get a chance because he believes they have better opportunities, and they haven't shown up, and they haven't shown that they're those guys. And I feel like you have a veteran who's played in the playoffs how many years in this league, who still produces a lot, and I think coming off the bench, Derrick Rose wouldn't be a bad option for them. So I think it's crazy. I think you see him in practices, and Jay McLevin was talking about it on one show. You see him in practices all the time, just knocking down threes and warm-ups, and then it's like, all right, Derek, well, DNP, go hang out and be cool for the next 45 minutes. And it's like, you got a guy who could spark something, and it's obviously not going to be Randall. RJ Barrett's not going to be the guy to do it. Mitchell Robinson's inconsistent. Like Jay said, Bam has nights where he can neutralize that. There's other nights where he doesn't, so it just depends on the night. But, I wanna get my guy Rob Scott on the show for many reasons today. But one of them being playoff Jimmy was dead. Playoff Jimmy wasn't real. That was something everyone was saying, and here we are.
Yeah, it was interesting you said that too, Mike, because when you look at the New York bench, I thought that was really the tell for me was the New York bench only gave you 10 points, and it was spread out between three guys. Honestly, Randall, not bad, 29-3, Brunson, 32-4-11, and Barrett, 24-4-3. The big three showed up. The problem was nobody else did.
Yeah.
Nobody else did. And I thought that was the key. I thought, when you look at Miami, like I said, Bio, 23-13. Strauss even, God, I haven't seen Strauss in a hot minute, but he gave you 16-6. Butler, 27-6-10. But their bench, for the love of God, their bench, Martin, 10-2, and Lowry, man, hey, out of nowhere, it gives you 15 plus. So the bench for me is what stole that game. And if they continue to do that with the bench, and if Adebayo can continue to be somewhat physical on a consistent basis, I don't know how New York is going to be able to do anything about it. And I'm with you, Mike. I'd like to see a little more of D Rose. What do you got to lose at this point? Come on.
Yeah, you got to make some kind of adjustment.
Free D Rose.
I just want to say I did call this in game 2. That New York Knicks fan that was on the sideline talking trash to Jimmy Butler. You know, Jimmy's just looking at the fan, waving by, shaking his head like, okay, kid, you know, you're really talking like, you don't even know, kid. Like, I was about to come in this game, but they wanted me for safety reasons to stay out of it. Like, Jimmy comes out game 3 and 4, just straight mauls New York, and now they're going back to New York on a 3-1 deficit for New York Knicks. Man, I don't see the Knicks coming back on this one, especially with the way Jimmy's playing. And if you really look at it, if Miami wins it, we can go out and say that Jimmy Butler swept the New York Knicks. Because honestly, if he was there in game 2, this series would already be over. It honestly would already be over.
And I really thought that Miami controlled all the major statistical categories, you know, in that game from start to finish. They got them at the 3-point line. They out-rebounded them, and they committed less turnovers. I mean, how much more does Miami have to show you that New York just isn't it? And I feel bad because I feel like this is like deja vu. Mike, I feel like it's deja vu from when the Knicks, you know, the last time they made the playoff run, and second round, first round pretty good, second round bupkis, done.
Yep. No, I mean, yeah, and Trae Young was a huge part of that. And there's, you know, they scream. Frankie knows they scream "fuck Trae Young" to this day in New York, but to this day. But it's something for me where, you know, you can't just blame Trae Young. You can't just blame Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy. You can't. You have to make adjustments. They have a solid squad. Like, you brought in Jalen Brunson for a reason. You brought in a guy like R.J. Barrett for a reason. Number 3 overall pick. Number 3 overall pick. Julius Randle's a 2-time All-Star. He's third-team All-NBA this year, and most likely going to be named one of those guys that you could look at and say could have been an All-Star if he stayed healthy. So you got the guys. Mitchell Robinson's a stud. You know, you got everything you need. You got Obi Toppin on the bench, Emmanuel Quickley, Derrick Rose. You just don't utilize them in the right way, and you know it really shows. I'm not F Tibbs, but that's exactly why Chicago was in the situations they were in, and Minnesota was in the situations that they were in for as long as they were.
That's what I was getting ready to ask. You guys think they have the right coach?
No, I think Tibbs is very outdated. I think Tibbs, you know, he's one of those guys that, you know, if you miss a shot, I forgot who it was, but they said the second they missed a shot, they're like, yeah, I'm not playing the rest of this game. And I understand that. And it's because that's how Tibbs is. And, you know, that's something I think a lot of people understand is, you know, New York was, I mean, you're the coach of the New York Knicks, bro. And before that, you were the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So it's not like you're getting offers from the Lakers. You're getting offers from Cleveland with LeBron. Like, Tibbs is a good coach. And I'm not going to say he's not, but I think he gets in his own way. He sees it. This is going to go one way, and he doesn't see it going another. And I think my big thing was, you know, they got really caught off guard by the Jimmy Butler-less game. You know, that you thought, hey, this is going to be easy win. No Tyler Hero, no Jimmy Butler. We can go in there and win this, and they lost it. And then Jimmy Butler comes back, and that was your game. If anything, that was your game to come back and show everybody that you could win a series. But, you know, they didn't take it seriously, and that's on them.
Yeah, I think Tibbs has kind of got him to the level that he's going to get him. It don't seem like he makes a whole lot of adjustments, like you were saying with like Rose. If you just keep running the same guys out there, you're probably going to get the same results. Nothing's going to change if you keep doing the same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And then
wasn't Thibodeau? I know he was with the Rockets as an assistant coach. I think he was under Rudy T at that time. I think before he became a head coach. I want to say it was Rudy T he was with there for a little bit, if I'm thinking correctly. And then I know his first head coach job was there with you in Chicago. And I thought he was okay in Chicago, but I think after that Chicago, like you said, after Chicago, he just, like you said, he lost some of that relevancy.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna start it off. All right, I'm gonna start it off, Chris. Jay, why would you bring him up as an assistant for Houston? We don't care. Damn.
But
Always gotta go somewhere to Houston. But listen, I liked all the names that you brought up, Mike. I really did. And the one name that you didn't mention that catches my eye because he had a really good first round series against Cleveland is Josh Hart. I feel like Josh Hart is missing in this second round.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and you know that's something that's kind of Josh Hart. You know what I mean? Everywhere he's been, you know, he's very inconsistent. When he's on, he's on. I mean, that's a big part of why you were a part of the Anthony Davis trade to begin with. And I think that's something that not a lot of people talk about. You know, everybody focuses on BI or Zoe or whatever else was a part of that deal. But, you know, Josh Hart was one of those guys that, you know, I looked at the Lakers and I was like, yo, this kid's going to be a star. And it was just the inconsistencies throughout that whole tenure. So Portland, it was kind of the same thing. New Orleans, it was kind of the same thing. Just kind of seeing him there with Brunson, it's a cool little story that they went to UConn or wherever the hell they went together. Michigan, even worse. But yeah, I think that's something that, you know, it comes with the trade is why were you traded 3 times in a span of 5 years? That's why.
No, that was a good point, Frankie, because I don't think they win that first round if it wasn't for the play of Josh Hart.
Yeah, that's why I brought him up because he had a really good first round series against Cleveland. Like he literally he you can say in some games he actually did, you know, make some important key shots. In some games he did have the Knicks on his back when Brunson wasn't playing really well, or when Julian Randle was not showing up or something like that. But then in this series, it's like, where has Josh Hart been? Like he has disappeared. The man, I don't even think he's scored at least 10 points in any of these games yet.
I haven't seen the last couple of games. Has he still been getting minutes like he was in that first series? It's just him not showing up.
I think he stopped getting minutes after the game 2. Because after game 2, they seen that he's not doing consistently what he did in the first round, and he's just missing wild shots. So I feel like, you know, Tom Thibodeau is just like, you know, we're just going to put you on the bench. And, you know, him coming out as a bench player, still not producing well. Tim Thibodeau's like, you know what? The hell with it. You're not doing anything for us in this round.
Yeah, so it says in the first games, he was playing 40 minutes a game with Cleveland pretty much. And then in Miami, he's done 43, 32, 38, and last night he had 22 minutes.
But Mike, you can attest to this too from when Thibodeau was in Chicago.
Fuck Tib.
Once the Bulls got deeper into the playoffs, Thibodeau's rotation went from 10 guys down to 8 guys down to 7 guys.
Yeah.
So it becomes not a matter of performance at that point anymore. It's a matter of Thibodeau has the guys he likes. Thibodeau has the guys he wants to lean on, and those are the guys he's going to ride until their legs pretty much fall off.
Right, and that's fine. But that's why Derrick Rose tears his ACL against the 76ers. And that's you're up 15 with 2 minutes left, but you're not willing to put in a bench guy. It's, you know, it's a situation where you got to understand your personnel. You got to understand the people you have in your organization. I don't care who it is. And bringing up the Warriors the other day, you know, we talked about Lonnie Walker. Who? That's what I said 2 days ago. And now I'm looking at Lonnie Walker as, you know, the second coming of Kobe Bryant today because this kid's an absolute animal. And it's like, that's something for me. It was a joke, by the way. I hope Frankie didn't just have an aneurysm and fall over. But no, it's the conversation of you look at the Lakers roster. Lonnie Walker doesn't see the court if Tibbs is the coach of the Lakers. And I truly believe that. You know, he'd rock out with his 5, maybe 1 or 2 guys come off that bench, and that's it. And that's the conversation for me where, you know, if that's who you are as a coach, I don't want you around, man. Like that shit was cool back in 2012, but in today's age, like Gonzo always says, the Jordan Pooles of the world, that just, you know, Jordan Poole is horrible right now, but how important he was to that series last year in the finals. I mean, that's a guy who you didn't even think was going to get drafted in the first round on draft day. And that's something that a lot of people look at and go, you know, when you could seize the opportunity and you could really just come up out of nowhere, that's something you have to take advantage of. Like that Max Strauss, you look at all these other guys, Gabe Vincent, the list goes on.
I don't want to talk about Max Strauss anymore.
Yeah, well, but yeah, it's something that, you know, you look at these guys and there's no tape on them. And that's something you take to your advantage. Like Lonnie Walker, What am I supposed to do about Lonnie Walker? I know nothing about Lonnie Walker. Like you averaged 8 points. You had a total of 8 points in the first 7 games of the playoffs, and you've had 36 in the last 3 games. And 15 came in the fourth quarter. Like, that's not something Gary Payton, Steph Curry, or anybody can really do anything about. And Tibbs doesn't use that. Like Derrick Rose right now, to Frankie's point. Haven't seen Derrick Rose all year. Derrick Rose is shooting threes every single warm-up. If that's what he's doing, and he's doing it decently well from what I'm seeing, okay, throw him in there. They don't have a game plan for Derrick Rose at this very point in time with this constructed team. Use it to your advantage. I'm not just scream Derrick Rose because I'm a fucking fanboy or I'm from Chicago. I'm saying it because the product you're putting out there right now, it stinks and it smells like shit. So do something about it. Get a former MVP, a playoff proven veteran who 8 years ago yesterday sent LeBron home in Cleveland with the shot. That was the OG Damian Lillard waving goodbye shot. That was the one. Hey, Frankie knows that was the one where Derrick got jumped by the whole team and just went like this. Didn't give a fuck. But that's what I'm saying is like you have a bunch of veterans. Oh, I want to rock with my rookies so they can develop. That's cool in the regular season. This is the playoffs. This isn't the Rockets. This isn't Charlotte. This isn't some other poverty franchise like Randy Jowers and the Memphis Grizzlies. Sorry.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Talent matters in the playoffs, but in the playoffs, your coach making adjustments is real big.
Right. Look at Steve
like
now.
You brought up Walker. I felt like Kerr should have made an adjustment last night and put Peyton back in that fourth quarter to help try to slow Walker down, and he never did, and Walker just went off. But not saying Peyton would have slowed him down, but you need to make an adjustment to try to stop him, and that's something that I haven't seen the Knicks do at all. To your point, is making the adjustments. Lakers and Warriors. You think there's any chance the Warriors come back?
Yes, I do. Respectfully.
Let me go on mute for a second.
Respectfully. And I mean that in all seriousness, I think it's over. I think the Lakers got it. But Frankie and I were talking about the script earlier. And I was like, man, if the script flipped and this time the Warriors beat LeBron in a 3-1 lead and then go face KD just to go face Tatum, I was like, that's a script. So is it possible? Sure. Is it going to happen? I'd put just as much money on that as I would Jordan Poole scoring more than 5 points. So,
yeah, Jordan Poole definitely hasn't showed up at all.
No, $128 million to just fuck around and do nothing.
Jordan Poole has officially become the Jason Hayward of the NBA, where he had one good season and cashed in.
I think Jason Hayward had a few good seasons, but I mean, Jordan literally just showed up, won a ring, got paid, and just dipped. And I was like, whatever, bro.
Oh man.
What you think, Frankie?
Bro, I loved it. I loved it, honestly. I honestly, last night was so intense. Like I literally, like me and Mike were going back and forth last night. No shit talking, no trash talking. Like we were straight basketball fans talking about the game last night, and it was like really intense. You can say that both teams were like really bad in shooting because they really were. Both teams were really bad in shooting. You got the Warriors taking open threes but missing them, and then you got the Lakers doing what they do. Technically, I can't even say because we all know what the Lakers do, but like they were both shooting so bad. But at the end of it, like you can literally look at it and say, "Damn, this was a really good game," because it literally came down to the wire. Like it came down to a jump ball. Like that's how close this game was. If Steph Curry would have never before that, if Draymond Green would have never turned that ball over, we would have been talking about a different discussion. And then Steph Curry had the second opportunity on the jump ball to try and do something, but the man, he jumped literally so high. He jumped as high as he ever jumped in his life and just fell, and then thought somebody was behind him and just said, okay, let me just toss the ball. And that ended the game right there. But this was a really good game. I really loved it. Going up 3-1, going back to Golden State, I said it to my wife last night. I feel like LeBron and AD can relax a little bit because they have a 3-1 lead. knowing that if they lose, they come back to LA and then they can play, what they got to play. But I want them to play hard. I want them to play hard because if you look at the Denver and Phoenix series, that series looked like it can go to 7 games.
Right.
And if that goes to 7 games and you have the Lakers winning the next one tomorrow night, you could look at LeBron and AD on a really long rest. So I mean, if I'm LA, I'm honestly I'm gonna tell LeBron, I'm gonna tell AD, yo, one more, give me one more out of you, so we can end this and have a really long rest. Because you got to look, like I said, you got to look at that series and think that series is gonna go 7.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the Lakers need to win that next game, like you said, to get the rest. And plus, you don't want to let Golden State try to get any momentum at all, even though you are going back to LA for a game 6. But if you can put them away, put them away. Don't give them no second chance.
Right.
I think what you need to do is kick Anthony. Hear me out, right? This is what I was telling Frankie. I said, what's that dude's name? Who barely played? Moody or Kuminga, Frankie?
Moody.
So if I'm Steve Kerr, the greatest adjustment I'll ever make, I'm going to start Moody for game 5. I'm going to tell him, tip off. I want you to walk up to Anthony Davis. When that ball goes in the air, as it's leaving the ref's fingertips, I want you to kick that motherfucker in the kneecap so hard that man feels you every time he gets up to take a piss. And I genuinely, Chris, I'm not even trying to be funny. I genuinely mean that. You look at 90s basketball, you look at early 2000s basketball, that's what you did. You want to beat the living hell out of somebody. The bad boy Pistons weren't beating Michael Jordan because they outscored him. Nah, it was Bill Laimbeer wasn't giving Michael Jordan buckets. Bill Laimbeer was taking that man out of the sky and putting you on your ass. If I'm them, what they should have been doing is attacking AD, being crazy physical with AD. I mean, Draymond, you just stomped out that white boy like 4 days ago. Do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again. Because I promise you, this dude's not getting up. Like, it's not happening. Like, Sabonis, I got a contusion in my chest. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. He a different breed. European dude, different breed. Anthony Davis? Oh, I won't see Anthony Davis till 2025. You kick that boy in the chest. I promise you. So that's honestly, it sounds horrible. That's all you got right now. Knock out AD, win the game.
I mean,
no, you're right. Back in the 90s, they used to get fouled 3 times if you drove to the goal.
Come on, like what?
I mean, you can wish that all you want, but I think before you try and get to that issue, I think you should pull your guys in the locker room and say, Jordan Poole, what are you doing? You should pull your guy. You should pull your guy to the locker room and say, Klay Thompson, what the hell are you doing? That's what you should be focusing on. Stop trying to take my guys out because that's the only way for us to win. Nah, tell him to step up. AD ain't Sabonis. He ain't soft. Get out of here. Draymond ain't got nothing on AD. But you know what? I do like what they.
You don't mean that.
I mean that 100%. I mean that 100%.
You don't.
I mean that. I mean it.
Mentally, physically.
Mike. You take Draymond out of Golden State, and everybody's gonna stop talking about this dude. The only thing he's gonna be is the next DeMarcus Cousins, just getting technical fouls every year. That's all he's gonna do.
Oh man, I'm just saying.
That's all he's gonna do.
Sabonis was a war dog, man. Sabonis was doing his thing. He had a conclusion in his chest.
He's doing his thing right now in Cancun too.
All I'm saying is, Draymond's probably not far behind him. Podcast gonna be vicious.
Listen, I wanna point something out, and I'm not gonna say no names. And Mike, I think you know where I'm about to go. If you gonna sit here and say that these NBA games and the NBA is fixed or rigged just for LA to be in the championship, oh my God, you are probably the dumbest person in sports history. Because if you're gonna sit here and say that the NBA just allows this shit to happen for the LA Lakers to be in the championship game, where were we last year, guys? We were the worst team in basketball. Where were we before that? A playoff elimination team. We won in 2020 where people don't even account it because it was a bubble championship game. Where were we from the years 2011 to 2019? Like, come on, bro. I don't want to hear this shit. just because the Lakers doing something that everybody didn't think was going to happen, now all of a sudden we're up 3-1 against Golden State, and the NBA is rigged.
Yep.
The NBA games are fixed. This is mind-blowing to me. I hate when people say that. Like, just take your look. And this is someone that's not even a Warriors fan, everybody. He's not even a Warriors fan. He's a goddamn Charlotte fan. And you got the nerve to say something about that.
To Gonzo's point, if the Bulls do get the number 1 pick, something's fucked up. Something's rigged. Something's not right, because that's 3 Chicago teams that got the number 1. So I do believe shit's rigged. I just don't think you could say the Lakers situation is rigged, because, I mean, well, Rob Pelinka, like, I'll tell you this. If the roster was the same as day one, if Russ was still here, if Pat Bev was still there, and everybody else, the same stuff, no D'Lo, no Beasley, and they were winning right now, I'd be like, oh man, this is not okay. Like this is not real life. Right. It's like Kyle Lowry, to Jay McLovin's point, dropping 15 a game right now. I'm kind of just like, man, you averaged 4 all season, dog. Like what the hell is going on right now? And that's really what it comes down to. So, you know, I think to Pelinka's credit, man, he took back control of the GM spot, told LeBron, yo, this is my house. Like, that's what it is. And it's like, he fixed his mess and he earned it. But I'm about to get out of here. I got to bounce. I'm going to talk to y'all. Y'all beautiful. Connor Bedard to the Blackhawks. And, yeah, Warriors in 7. Bye, Frankie.
See you Thursday morning, Mikey.
Bye, Dustin.
And Frankie, kind of your point, if you watched NBA basketball at all this year, you would know that this was how, not basically 3-1, but the foul situation, how it was going to go. The Lakers have been number 1 at shooting free throws and been number 1 at free throws given up.
Warriors, you know why that?
Warriors shot the least amount of free throws all season, and we're number 1 on giving up on fouls. So it's playing out like the whole season is played out.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing people don't see is the Lakers are known, and like Chris just said, the Lakers are known for being in the foul trouble. They don't take the wild shots from 3 all the time. No, they like to get it in the paint to AD and get forcible fouls. Austin Reeves does it all the time. LeBron James always doing it on fast break points. The Lakers are known for getting into the paint and causing the other teams to get into foul trouble. To where, like Chris just said, the Warriors are known for being in foul trouble. They're not known for driving into the paint and getting to the line. No, they're known for shooting their threes from 25 feet to 30 feet from beyond the arc. Like that's what they're known for. So if you're going to sit there and say that LeBron James and all the Lakers are getting, all the calls, that's bullshit. Because even Dustin knows, our guy, stat guy, he even knows that the Warriors literally are getting calls their way for so many games. But the one thing that they can't do better than we do is make our free throws and get to the foul line where it needs to be.
And for as good as Stephen Curry has been for ever, and no one's going to say that he isn't great, he is 0 for 15 with 0 for 15 and potential game-winning shots in the final 45 seconds in the playoffs.
And this is a man who had a triple-double last night.
He's 0 for 15 when taking a potential game-winning shot in the final 45 seconds of a playoff game. So, yes, the guy's an amazing player. Yes, the guy is the best shooter that we've ever seen. But he's not the best shooter we've ever seen when the game's on the line.
Do you think that he's, not pissed off, but mentally screwed? Not screwed. I don't want to. But I don't want to.
I think he's mentally drained.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. He's mentally drained because the man, he just put up a triple-double and you lost by 3 points. If you can get your people around you to step up, I mean, it's only a matter of time before Steph Curry starts getting really pissed, y'all. I really start thinking Steph Curry.
What did Clay have last night? 9 points? Something like that?
9 points. 9 points. Jordan Poole, 0 points, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He needs people around him to step up. And as much as I love it, as much as I love seeing Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole together only getting 9 points, shooting 3 from 15 or whatever like that, I love it. I love those kind of stats. But I'm a basketball fan as well, and I would like to see more competition. I like to see everybody work around. But at this very point, I'm gonna have to give my shout out to Randy, who said that Klay Thompson only shows up for one game, and that's absolutely true. He only showed up for one game, and that was game 2, where he got around, I think, almost 40 points, and he just had a dominant game. Since then, he just disappeared.
And when you start Draymond, you only have four guys on the court that can really score anyway. So then, if Thompson and Poole aren't scoring, you're really in a hole. I mean, Draymond really don't give you no offense.
I love it. I love it. It was a good game yesterday.
Oh, the game was fun to watch. I watched most of that game last night. I didn't get to watch much of the Knicks game before that, but I watched about all the Lakers Warriors last night while I was streaming the wrestling stuff. And then when I got done, the ending was crazy. I mean, because like you said, Draymond turns the ball. You think the Warriors might have a chance to tie it up. Draymond throws the ball away. Then
He should have laid it
do
up.
the jump ball and Steph gets it.
I feel like he had so much room behind him. Instead of looking when he grabbed the rebound, instead of looking back and passing it to Steph Curry to try and get a 3, Draymond should have been a leader of the paint, turned the ball, turned his body around and laid it up because he had so much space. Nobody was in front of the rim. So he could have easily turned around and laid that up, and they would have been down by 1 instead of 3. And they would have been like, okay, well, let's, they get the ball, let's foul them, let's see what they got to the line. That's where you start, moving from there. If Draymond would have done that, it would have been a different story. But he wanted to pass it out to Steph so that way they can get a potential tie and go into overtime. They need to stop doing that because the Lakers are going to, as you see, the Lakers freaking stopped it by putting Anthony Davis up against Stephen Curry.
Yeah, because Davis done a good job making a tough shot for Steph, having to shoot over him. You know, a good job on that play. Now that little fadeaway before that little 2 that he had to try to tie it up, I thought that was in. That kind of went in and out and popped out, and that's. But no, it was a good finish. Definitely exciting. So I couldn't imagine if you were a fan of either one of them teams, you'd have to be going crazy. So I'm not a fan of either one of them, but it was a fun game to watch. So I couldn't imagine being a fan. You'd be going crazy during that game.
We got people who are not fans going crazy about that game, and not good crazy, pissed off crazy. They're so mad they don't even want to admit it. Like you can be Chris. I was being so polite last night. Ask that guy. I was being so polite. I wasn't being rude. I wasn't being Frankie the Yankee.
Frankie, you were being the biggest dick in the world.
I was being polite.
I know you were.
I couldn't be more polite than I was being. Literally.
I was actually, honestly, Frankie, I was kind of upset with you because I was waiting for you to be a dick, and that's like what I wait for when you get an argument on Facebook. I was kind of upset with you.
But you know it's a win. You know it's a win when you have somebody like me who's known for being a dick, like that guy just said. I'm known for being that. But I win when I can be so polite and still piss somebody off so much.
I was ready to say something to you in the chat last night just to piss you off.
Computer keeps shutting off. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Man.
We got some got Sixers and Celtics tonight.
Why did Jay have to leave the show? I wanted to talk about the Kraken.
He has to I messaged him because I thought I had got him mad because you know how he did. We were talking about Tom Thibodeau and he had to go back to ancient history. Like I'm pretty sure he started in Houston Rockets as an assistant to this guy. So he had to do his typical thing, and I thought I pissed him off. But I wrote him and I said, come back on. He's got to go to the hospital right now with Mel.
Yeah, he said something about he had to go somewhere with Mel. The Kraken tore the Stars up the other night. What was that? Sunday night?
Tore them up.
I think it was Sunday. Was it Sunday night?
Yeah,
Sunday night. Last night.
Yeah, it was Sunday night. They tore them up so bad, Chris, that they're about to move them out of Dallas and move them over to freaking Houston or something.
Yeah, I watched some of that. I watched some of that game Sunday night when we got back home from the Comic-Con, and man, because I think they scored 4 or 5 goals in the first period.
Yeah. Like I said last week, though, when they beat Colorado, I thought that was kind of basically icing on the cake at that point. And they're playing with so much house money right now that they're playing looser than any other team left in the playoffs, and you can see it.
I don't know all that. Look at the Florida Panthers. They
Well,
eliminated my Bruins. And
yeah,
now
but
they're
we
up
talked about it
3-0.
last week, though, too, with Florida, how they matched up very well against Boston. And they also matched up very well against Toronto. And depending on who they see in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're either going to get a Devils team who they were 3-0 against during the regular season, or they're going to get a Carolina team who is a division rival of them. So they're not really facing teams that they haven't matched up that well against this year. That's why, like, even with Florida being the 8th seed in the playoffs, I didn't look at them as the 8th seed because I looked at the matchups they would face, and I'm right from the start, I said Florida had a chance to make a run because of who they matched up against versus Seattle. Like, yes, Seattle had a great season, but they were going up against the defending Stanley Cup champions who, granted, they were missing one of their best players who's now also been ruled out for the entire 2023-2024 season. But
Wow.
yeah, he ended up having knee surgery, and they screwed something up on his knee surgery, so now he needs a whole bunch of cartilage removed and redone. So now he's out for the entire 2023-2024 season. But, like, Seattle, I did not expect to beat Colorado. And they're playing with house money now, where I think it is going to be Vegas against Seattle, the two newest NHL franchises playing for a shot at the Stanley Cup. And I think it's going to be Florida and Carolina in the Eastern Conference just because Florida's up 3-0. I don't see them dropping 4 games in a row to Tampa Bay. And I don't think Carolina's going to lose 3 or 4 to the Devils.
I think Vegas tied it up 2-2, didn't they?
No, they're up 2-1, I think.
Up 2-1. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew my dad came in there last night and said Vegas won. I couldn't remember if he said it was 2-2 or 2-1.
No, yeah, it's 2-1. They dominated last night. They just straight dominated.
He was excited that Vegas came back and played good.
Come back and play good.
He watches.
They didn't even have to.
He watches all the games.
I feel like they didn't even have to. I thought they had to lead the whole time. Honestly, I mean, it started off 1-1.
Yeah, I meant picking up another win, taking the lead.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. But they needed that win, right? It was away, and as we always say, it's best to get one win on the road, especially a win where it leads the series, because now you're in a comfortable position. Because even if you lose Game 4, you're heading back to Vegas after that. I mean, you want to get the win, obviously. You want to go 3-1 heading back home to close it out. But they had the momentum last night. They lost the other team, the Oilers. They lost their best goalie. We don't know if he's going to be back tomorrow night. They ended up bringing in their second string goalie. He was terrible too. He was bad also. So it was a really good win for Vegas. And like Stat Guy said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Vegas versus Seattle, and that'll be something because, like he said, these are the two newest teams in NHL within literally the past what's that guy, like 5 years?
Yeah, Seattle or Vegas came in 2016 or 2017, and Seattle came in last year.
Yeah, so two fresh teams within the 5-year span. Going to be one game away from a Stanley Cup, or one series away from a Stanley Cup. You can't get nothing better than that. And like you said, you got Florida on the other side, who eliminated the NHL record-setting in scores and points of the Boston Bruins, going up against another team that's really dominant in the Toronto Maple Leafs, who now they're actually up 3-0. 3-0, and they're in Florida. So I'm looking at a sweep already with Florida, and if that happens, this is going to be our first sweep of the playoffs. And Florida is going to have a really well-rested if New Jersey can tie the series up tonight against Carolina. So they'll have a long rest waiting to see who they're going to face up against. Florida's got a lot of good games these last couple of games.
Yeah. Basketball tonight, Sixers and Celtics. What?
They back in Boston?
Yeah. Back
Yeah,
in
Boston takes Game 5.
It's a tie series, right? 2-2?
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, they both have split on the split at home so far.
Well, all I can say is finally Joel Embiid showed up last game. Honestly, he really did. Joel Embiid, the MVP that we all witnessed to see, showed up finally yesterday. or not yesterday, 2 days ago for their game 4. And also James Harden. James Harden with the game winner 3 at the corner in overtime to seal the deal. Amazing show out by both of these guys. And Chris, as you know, Chris is my witness. I've been riding behind James Harden for a couple of games now, and I've been getting trashed by AP, our boy Anthony Price, who's been telling me oh, what happened with James Harden, da da da. He showed up again. He showed up twice. He didn't show up twice, so he's even right now. And I'm gonna keep riding with James Harden. I feel like if he keeps going the momentum that he's going with, I think that the 76ers can get a win tonight in Boston. They honestly can. Because I feel like that Philly has figured something out against the Celtics, because the Celtics are not looking like the Celtics from the beginning. They're looking a little nervous right now. I feel like, because Joel Embiid has finally showed up. I just want Joel Embiid to continue showing up.
Did it surprise you that Marcus Smart took the two shots at the end of the shot at the end of regulation and then the shot at the end of overtime at the end of that game instead of Tatum or Brown?
Not really, because everyone expects Tatum or Brown to take that shot.
I understand that.
So you're not going to put as much defensive pressure on a guy like Marcus Smart or Malcolm Brogdon or anybody else, because you expect Brown or Tatum to take that shot.
Yeah, I understand that, but we would kill these other stars if they're not taking the shot at the end of the game. I feel like Tatum and Brown are kind of getting a pass on it. But I think Sixers win. I think Sixers are going to win tonight. I do expect it to be another real close game, but Harden's going to have to play another good game, I think, and Embiid has to play like he did last game. He like Frankie said, he finally showed up. He has to show. There, my screen went black again. But he has to show up another game. He can't show up just 1 or 2 games out of a series. You're the MVP. You got to show up every game for your team, especially if the Sixers are going to advance. Then Suns and Nuggets, another series that's tied. Going back to Denver, but the home team has won every game in this series so far. Who do you think wins tonight?
Denver's got to hope they win tonight. Otherwise, Phoenix puts it away in 6.
I think Denver gets the win tonight. Honestly, I really do. Despite them losing Game 4, Joker's had a really good game. I mean, finally, he set a team record with over 50 points. It is just sad that nobody else around him showed up to help him secure the win. But I think tonight, being back at home, I think that the home fans will boost them up a little bit with the cheering and the screaming and everything like that. I gotta say Denver gets it tonight. But like that guy said, if Phoenix wins, man, it's over in 6.
Yeah, I think Denver gets it tonight. Do you guys think that Jokic should have got suspended for that little altercation thing with the Suns owner when he was trying to get the ball? He kind of shoved him.
No,
I didn't either.
No, because go ahead, Sagai.
He gets suspended if it's the regular season, but being that this is the playoffs, being that he was the 2-time MVP, probably finished second in the MVP voting this year, and being kind of the magnitude of the type of player he was, they weren't going to suspend him for that in the playoffs. During the regular season, he probably would have got 1 or 2 games though.
I don't even think he should suspended in the regular season.
Right, yeah, I don't think so neither, because if you're an owner of a team, you yourself should know you shouldn't be getting in the face of a player. No matter what, you should not be getting in the face of a player. If the players don't like a fan getting in their face, you shouldn't be doing it either.
Honestly, I think if you're going to fine Jokic, which I did, I think the owner of the Suns should have got fined, because he helped escalate that situation by not giving the ball up.
Hey, they gotta give him a little like warning, Chris. We're forgetting that the Phoenix Suns got new ownership not so long ago, so I'm pretty sure this is like his first time on court side in a playoff game. He's just feeling it. He feels the intensity. He just wants to be along with the crowd and get into it. I feel like the NBA gave him a warning and say, "Yo, listen, we can't be doing situations like this. This is why owners are not at courtside. You're not Mark Cuban, all right? Mark Cuban can be relaxed and not get in people's faces. He's like at least 3 rows behind the courtside. You got to be in the box, sir. You got to stay in the box."
Yeah, so something that was they're lucky it didn't escalate into something worse with other fans start trying to get involved and stuff. So and I'm glad they didn't suspend Jokic because that would have sucked for this playoff series to get affected like that with him not being able to play tonight.
I don't even think it was a hard shove, Chris. If you really look
I
at
didn't
it,
either.
it was like
I think he
a
flopped.
gentle touch. Yeah, it was like a gentle touch, and this guy flops. Like he's been watching so many games. He's like, let me flop this right here, and it won. It won in his favor. He got a free. He gave Joker a technical foul.
Yeah, I didn't think he shoved him that hard either.
I mean, when you look at how big Joker is, there's no way that guy should have been able to like move Joker as much as he did.
Yeah, and they kicked out one of the other fans for touching Jokic. I think that'll be interesting tonight.
Who do you got winning, Chris?
I have Nuggets winning tonight. I had Nuggets winning the series when it started, but I think Nuggets win tonight. Being back at home, and I think their bench. Usually, your bench plays better at home, so I think their bench will show up, and that's something that worries me about Phoenix is they don't have a whole lot of depth. So on the road, I think that's going to hurt them some. So I like the Nuggets tonight. I think Jokic's going to have another big night.
As much as I hate Phoenix, I want them to win the series. I want them to win this series. I want to go up against Phoenix just so I can go around and say my team eliminated KD from the playoffs, right? And just like Chris said, they don't have depth. They don't have depth. The Lakers do. So I feel like the Lakers will just like honestly not dominate, but play really well against Phoenix. I think they'll play well against Denver as well. I really do. But I think we'll play a little bit better against Phoenix rather than Denver. Stega, I'm sorry that we are one game away from ruining your prediction of the Golden State Warriors making the championship round.
I had nothing invested in it. That was just based on the roster they had coming back from last year. That was just the pick that I made. But I will say that on the Eastern Conference side of things, the Miami pick I made is starting to look better because I don't care what their record showed. Miami was the most injured team in the league this year. And when they finally started to get healthy late in the season, they started to look like the Miami team that was the top seed in the Eastern Conference last year. And this Miami team is very dangerous.
So, Chris, you there?
Yeah.
All right. I want to ask you guys this. Because we had a prediction like a month back or even before the playoff series started to where some of us said it would probably be Denver and Milwaukee in the championship or Denver and Boston. Some people even threw out Phoenix out there. I believe one person threw out Memphis, and that was the name of Randy. But now that, things look a little bit differently here, do you guys think that we're going to have a different NBA championship picture?
Yeah, I had to pick now, man. Go ahead, Sagar.
I do, just because everyone's favorite for the most part was Milwaukee in the East, Golden State in the West. That was pretty much the pick that a lot of people made heading into the season. And if Golden State could have found out, or if Golden State could have figured out a way how to win on the road this year, who knows where that team would be right now. And that was ultimately, I think, why they ended up where they ended up in the seeding was because they couldn't win on the road if they tried. If they could have even played not even necessarily 500 basketball on the road, but if they were like at 400, because I think their winning percentage on the road this year was 250. If they were at a 400 winning percentage on the road, they're a top 3 seed in the West, and they're facing Phoenix right now as opposed to facing the Lakers. So who knows where that team would be if they figured out how to win on the road, which they never did. And now you have to look at it. The biggest thing when it comes to either the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, baseball, football, for everything. Records are thrown out the window at this point because it's not about what you do in the regular season anymore. It's a matter of what team is hotter going into the playoffs. And if you look at the landscape of the playoffs right now, the two teams that were the hottest team going into the playoffs were the Lakers and the Heat. And since the playoffs have started, they have continued that.
Ooh.
I think I'd pick Golden State to be in the finals, which it don't look like that's going to happen now. Don't look like it's going to happen. If I had to go right now, I think the Nuggets are going Nuggets. I think it's going to be Nuggets and Lakers probably in the Western Conference Finals, and probably Boston. I don't know. I like Philadelphia too, but Boston and Philadelphia series hard. Of course, Miami is going to come out of that, so I think it's going to be interesting. To see whoever wins between Sixers and Celtics against the Heat.
Because you got to remember, the Heat get to the next round, they get Tyler Hero back.
Yeah, but how effectively would he be?
He doesn't need to be that effective. I don't think you can limit his minutes.
I think people are going to look at him and say, I don't think he's going to be a good shooter. And not saying he's not going to be a good shooter next year or anything like that, but like we've seen players that sat down when they left. He was hot before he sat down. Now he's been out for about a series and a half now. How effectively can his shots be when he comes back?
I don't think he
can be that distraction, but
I don't think he has to be that effective for one reason. He's on the floor. You have to take him into account. And when he's on the floor, he stretches the floor because he has that 3-point reputation. So that opens things in the lane for Jimmy Butler. That opens things in the lane for Bam Adebayo. That opens things in the lane for a couple of their other players that like to get inside. And Hero doesn't even have to shoot that much. Just him on the floor forces the defense to come out a lot more than they want to, which opens up the more things on the inside.
Yeah.
It's going to be an all Pat Riley championship is what it's going to be.
I'll be right back.
Frankie, are you muted or are you not talking?
Sorry, guys. I was muted. My bad. So, yeah, I think, honestly, with the way this playoff series is looking on both sides, West and East, it's looking potentially like we can get a 2020 rematch. I'm not saying that my boys are can be in it just yet. Like I said, we're not even in the Western Conference Finals yet or the Eastern Conference Finals. Anything can happen. But the way this is looking, and like that guy said, the two hottest teams since the trade deadline has been both the Lakers and the Miami Heat, or even before the playoff series started, because both of these guys are both playing tournament contenders. We can possibly be getting a 2020 tournament, 2020 bubble rematch, and this time it'll be different, because if we get that, I think everybody's going to overlook that 2020 bubble. Everybody's going to overlook that 2020 bubble either way. But still, with these two teams, if they go at it in the championship round, they'll definitely overlook that last championship series.
Yeah.
So what do you guys make of the Milwaukee Bucks' top 3 choices for the head coach?
I only know of one.
Which one do you know?
The guy that was favored for Houston.
Nurse?
Yeah.
He's actually 3rd on their list.
Wow.
I think Nurse is going to end up in Detroit. The other 2 are Charles Lee, who I don't know why he's getting so much attention because he's just an assistant and really hasn't done much. But the Bucks' top choice right now is Kenny Atkinson. who I know was rumored. I know he was one of the favorites for the Lakers job last year too. Before they got Darvin Ham, and Atkinson's been the top assistant this year for the Golden State Warriors, replacing Mike Brown basically.
Yeah, I hadn't looked at it much. Like I said, been gone, but I don't know. It was surprising to me that I still think they're making a mistake getting rid of Budenholzer.
Well, Giannis took a shot at the organization a couple days after they got rid of Budenholzer. So there's this situation right now in Milwaukee where Giannis is not too pleased. And honestly, Budenholzer probably got fired for the comments he made last week. And I don't know if you even saw those comments.
Yeah.
They were asking him about something last week. I don't know what the topic was, but Budenholzer's response was he fears that Giannis wants out of Milwaukee after next season. So obviously that comment came from somewhere, and I don't think it sat well with the Bucks organization. I think that's ultimately why they got rid of him. But now you have Giannis saying you don't fire a guy that took us to the playoffs every year that he's been here and has won the first title here in over 70 years. So Giannis took a shot at the organization too. So right now, everyone can think that things are all rosy in Milwaukee right now because Budenholzer's gone, but whoever they bring in to be the next coach needs to make sure things are good with Giannis, because if they hire a coach and Giannis is still not happy, I'm not going to be surprised if Giannis tries to force his way out next year, kind of like what Durant did with Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think they made a mistake by firing Budenholzer.
It's a big mistake because if you look at it, Budenholzer has the 5th highest winning percentage in NBA history during the regular season. He knows what the hell he's doing. Granted, his playoff success hasn't been the greatest. He's under 500 as a playoff head coach, but a large portion of that was when he was with the Atlanta Hawks, where they were winning plenty of games in the regular season because the Atlanta Hawks division was terrible back then. And then they ended up with like the 1 or the 2 seed and would always get knocked out by Miami in the playoffs. So you can't really fault him for that. But as a coach in the regular season, he's got almost a 700 winner percentage. I think he's at like 678 all time as a winning percentage during the regular season. So the guy knows how to coach. And if you're basing your
this year in the playoffs, in the round he got put out, he didn't have Giannis for like 2.5 games.
Well, 1 game really. The other game, Giannis.
No, he missed 2 full games and then left in game 1.
I thought he played game 1, left in game 2. Was out the second half of game 2 and missed game 3.
No, he got hurt in game 1 and left, and he missed.
No, he got hurt in game 1.
But even at that though, like if the Bucks are basing everything on the success that Budenholzer has done in the playoffs, and I think ultimately that's why they want to fire him too, is because you had the best record in the East 3 times. You had a top 3 seed in the East all 4 years, and you only have 1 finals appearance to show for it. What is hiring Nick Nurse going to do? Nick Nurse is the same exact way. He was with Toronto for 8 years, made the playoffs 8 times, and has only 1 finals appearance to show for it. So you're bringing in a guy that has a ton of regular season success, but not a lot of playoff success, to replace a guy that had a ton of regular season success and not a playoff success.
I think some of these teams get spoiled that their team is in the playoffs and having a chance to try to win a championship every year. And then they just think if they get another coach, that's going to happen. Well, you get the wrong coach and then you're back to
like why
not making the playoffs every year.
That's exactly why Eric Spoelstra's still in Miami. The guy makes the playoffs pretty much every single year as a head coach, and he only has the 1 NBA Finals appearance outside of when he made it those 4 straight years with LeBron. But you don't see Pat Riley firing him because he's not making the NBA Finals. Yeah. He consistently gets you a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference more often than not and gets you in the playoffs. You don't get rid of a coach that consistently gets you to the playoffs.
It's not easy to win a championship.
No, it's not. No matter how much talent you have, even if you have like one of the best players in the world on your team, it's not the regular season where you face these teams once every 2 months. You face these teams 3 or 4 times a year. You're facing the same team in a best-of-7 series where you're going to see them anywhere from 4 to 7 times in a 2-week period. They are going to adjust from one game to the next. This isn't the regular season where you might see a team in November and then not see them again until January. So it's easy to beat a team 4 times in the regular season as opposed to 4 times in like a 2-week stretch.
And you can't win a championship if you don't make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
What's up, Gonzo? How you feeling, brother?
Not too bad.
What's up, Stat Guy?
What's going on, Robert?
Hey, I'm just on here to face the music like a man. My Warriors ain't looking too good. I'm allowing Frankie the Lake Show. Let him get his I ain't ducking and dodging nobody. That's what I'm saying.
What does he mean? How is Taylor Jenkins still the coach of the Grizzlies? The same thing I said about Spoelstra. Taylor Jenkins has changed that Grizzlies franchise around in 3 years, and he's turned them into one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Why the hell would they get rid of him?
Who? The Grizzlies? Ha! Ha! That was funny, Dustin. That was funny.
They are one of the best
teams
teams in
in
the
the
Western
West.
Conference. Granted, the Lakers did eliminate them, but you still can't discredit what he's done with that team the last 2 years.
I'm not saying just the Lakers. Look at last year, the
Well, I
year
know.
before that.
But that's another example of a coach that has great regular season success, but not a ton of playoff success. Because he knows how to win in the regular season. He just hasn't figured out how to win in the playoffs as a head coach yet, and that's might be because he's only 44 years old, and this is really his first time as a head coach, like his first actual head coaching job. So he's still trying to figure that out. But anytime a team is going to consistently make the playoffs, more often than not, you're going to hang on to them as a coach, because if we're going based off of the whole winning a championship standard, Dave Roberts should have been long gone in Los Angeles then, because the Dodgers had the best record in the National League 8 of the last 9 years, and they have jack shit to show for it in the postseason for the most part.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised when they came out that Budenholzer was fired. I was like, really? A guy that
I saw it coming. I hate to say it. I don't think he should have got fired. I don't agree with the firing, but he was on the hot seat before they won the ring, and they won the ring and bought him a little time. And now it's to the point. It's like I think Milwaukee already wanted to move on from him, and they just got an excuse to do so. But he was already on the hot seat. You know what I mean? And I think
never should have been, because when he first started in Milwaukee is when Golden State had Kevin Durant in that group together. Like, it was pretty much you win the Eastern Conference and that was your prize, because Golden State was the class of the league at that point. And then they had the 1 year window where Curry got hurt, Thompson got hurt, Durant left, and then the Bucks cashed in and won the title. But then after that, it's like, we haven't done anything since then. But it's like, yeah, because the Eastern Conference has gotten better, and the class of the league is still in the Western Conference. And I think the class of the league is still in the Western Conference.
Oh yeah, I told Frankie this. Whoever's winning the championship is coming out of the West. If the Lakers do manage to close the deal on the Warriors, which is looking very highly probable, I honestly think the Lakers can win it all.
I love we had Mike on here earlier. I just love the different tone that Mike and Rob brings from the beginning of the year to now. Chris, don't you just love it? Don't you just
What
love
tone
it,
is that? What tone is that? Me trying not to talk so loud at my job?
No. That tone that you normally be like, Dub Nation, Warriors.
Oh, it's still Dub Nation. What I just say, Chris? I ain't ducking and dodging. No smoke.
Nah, bro.
Warriors is
all the smoke.
Hey, hold on. Warriors is stepping.
Rob said he wants all the smoke.
Warriors is seven.
We about to do LeBron how he did us back in 2016. 3-1, baby.
You're wild.
Hey, now watch Frankie stop sweating when they win that next game.
Bro, I ain't never sweating. You want to know why? Because it's the Golden State Warriors. I am never sweating.
He's saying it's the Golden State Warriors like you ain't talking about the defending champion. You better put some respect on that, man.
I am talking about the defending champion. That's why I say it. I'm not sweating. I don't get mad when the Warriors, win a game, or even if they make how many threes they make. I know what they bring to the table. This is a team that literally I deal with so many times because they're division rivals. I know about the Golden State Warriors. I'm not saying I'm not sweating because we're going to straight up just eliminate them next game. No, I'm saying I'm not sweating because I know what the Warriors are about. I know what they bring. I know what they can do. So there's no reason for me to sweat. There's no reason for me to get mad. It's the Warriors. It's what they do. Honestly, I'm just
Hey,
saying. I mean,
I will say this. I will say this. The Lakers been playing like they want to win, and as long as Anthony Davis show up and he can exploit the lack thereof of the interior presence that the Warriors don't have, I think the Lakers might be able to do it. But I just want you to know, like Michael Jordan said, it takes a real man to talk shit when the score is 0-0 when he down. And guess what, Frankie? I'm still talking shit.
go ahead. I love it when you talk shit. You want to know why? Because while you're talking shit, we're winning. So go ahead, keep talking your shit, bro.
Frankie, how surprised would you be if the Warriors came back and forced a game 7?
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like I said, this is the Golden State Warriors, and
Yeah.
anything is possible. Like they can literally turn it around the next 2 games and just be dominant. Like Klay Thompson could just have a 30-point games. Jordan Poole, who's been so disappointed, can come out next game and have an outstanding game, to where potentially Klay Thompson could play a better game, game 6. Steph Curry. I don't have to worry about Steph Curry. This man he's Steph Curry. Rob knows. I literally said yesterday, I'm convinced that this man isn't human. Like, the small dude is getting triple doubles, and he's doing everything he can to keep these guys in the game. Like, the man is outstanding. I'm absolutely liking and loving what I'm seeing from Steph Curry. This is why he's literally one of the actually the greatest shooter right now of the NBA. So, I mean, I don't have to, focus on the thing that's different though is this is what the Lakers know. They know that the Warriors are a 3-point shooting team. So as long as they can continue handling the paint with Anthony Davis and what he's doing, LeBron James and what he's doing, Jared Vanderbilt and what he's doing as well, all 3 of them in the paint, and don't count on my man Ruchi Hachimura. If they continue to do what they do in the paint, it's an even series. It's an even matchup. And I told Rob that, and I told Mike that. Like, it's even. It's kind of even, but it doesn't look even because you got the Warriors who are 3-point shooters, but you got the Lakers who are a paint protector or a paint dominant team, or however you want to say it. It works in both favors.
I hate it though because the Warriors go against everything that I believe, and I love them so much. But I've always been a person that screams, "You're gonna live and die by the 3-point shot," and more times than not, you're gonna die. And unfortunately, that's what the Warriors have been relegated to. It's like we have to out-3 them because there's nothing we can do in the paint. One thing I will say about Anthony Davis, even if he's not showing up on the scoreboard and points, they are scared to come in the paint. They are scared because this man, he just had 28 blocks in the last series. This dude has been anything that's coming in the paint. You got to see AD at the rim. And don't nobody want to see that. And now you relegated the Warriors to strictly shooting jumpers. And then we talk about the damn disappearing act that Jordan Poole has done. Where's Mr. $128 million at? I hope Draymond punch him in the other eye. Let me not say that, Lord Jesus. Let me not say it. But you know what, though? I will say this. You know what the irony about this is? This is the first time I've ever seen Freddie, Frankie, and Jonathan all agree on one thing.
That ass. But I'm different. I'm different from them. You honestly, I'm really different from them, and Chris knows this as well. I don't go to Facebook and I don't rant and I don't cry. I wait until the game's over. If we lose, I put my honesty out there. I'm not crying about it. It's always a long series for a reason. You always have a bounce back game. But these guys, all right.
Oh my goodness.
They every minute posting. LeBron James does a turnover. That was a bad turnover by LeBron. What the fuck? Anthony Davis misses a shot. I need Anthony Davis to be more physical. Like
they think they skip Bayless.
Relax.
They skip Bayless.
Yeah,
I told Freddie, stay out my comments.
Fuck, you almost have to mute your Facebook when you're watching a game so you can watch a game without seeing them cry the whole time.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm here to be.
I don't.
But I'm here to be a man. You know what I'm saying? and I'm gonna show up even when it ain't meant for me to show up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Cause Frankie been riding with the Lakers all season. I've been riding with the Warriors all season. May the best team win. That's all I can say. And if the Warriors lose, guess what? I'm gonna be screaming Dub Nation next year, or at least until Steph decide he don't want to be there no more.
Listen, I'm not gonna say anything to you just yet. The series is not over. Anything can happen in basketball. Anything can honestly happen in basketball. So that's why you saying you're coming in here to take the trash talking and stuff like that. I'm not gonna do it yet. I'm not gonna do it yet until we can secure this series win. All I'm gonna say is I want my goddamn respect, and all I'm gonna say is who's your daddy, baby?
I kind of feel like
don't care. I don't care who my daddy is, but Dominic Mysterio was a lucky man because I definitely want to know who my mommy is, Lord Jesus. I want my girl to put my name on her ass too. You hear?
How lucky? Like literally, look at my shoes for a minute. I'm not trying to put myself out there, but feel me. All right, just feel me for a second. My team started 2-10. We were in the 13th seed. I was getting trash talked by literally everyone on ASAP morning group chat. Everybody. I was getting trash talked by everyone for being a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
And then
You stuck it out,
but
though.
surely. Yeah, right? I chilled. I was chilling. I'm telling Randy in December, like, yo, bro, don't worry. Your team's going to be a first-round knockout. What happened? My prediction came true, and it happened against my boys. Now, I'm going up against Mike and Rob, who are not truly Warrior fans. They're just certain player fans on the Warriors, so they have to support the Warriors. But now I have to go up against 2 instead of 1. And if Phoenix can go up and beat Denver, then I have to go up against a bigger dude in Jay Ness, who literally only appears when Phoenix are dominant and winning by 30 points. If they win by 2, he's not saying nothing. If
Which
they
is
lose,
not
he
often.
disappears.
He appears when Phoenix is winning, when Phoenix
Right,
organizations are winning, and that's not often.
Exactly. All I know is if it's a Laker Suns Western Conference Championship, that group chat everybody gonna want to leave.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Want to leave? I'm gonna want to open that up and watch Frankie have a party.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If it's Lakers versus Phoenix, I am rooting for the Lakers. I'm not gonna lie to you. You gonna make me look like Randy. You gonna make me look like Randy because it's funny how y'all whoop the hell out of the Grizzlies, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, the Warriors suck." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I guess if I got my ass, what they say, if you can't beat them, join them.
And I always do say, if you want to be it, and Mike, not Mike, because I just saw him hop in, but
Mike,
Chris is my witness. Dustin sometimes hears it as well. I always say, if you want to be a champion, you got to beat the champion, and that's not just a Ric Flair saying. That's an actual saying. For you to be a champion, you have to beat the champion, and that's what the Lakers are doing. And Rob, he said a point earlier. It looks like that the Lakers are hungry for a title. They're fighting like they want to win. And it's actually showing. So the Lakers, if they can beat the Golden State Warriors, I have full confidence that the Lakers can end up being champions at some point. At some point at the end of this stuff.
Yeah, I just was joking with my boy. I said LeBron is saving his 50-point performance for the finals. He got one more 50. He got one more 50 piece left in him. If they make it to the finals, that's what, because LeBron gonna want that finals MVP.
Not just that, they also mentioned yesterday he has yet in both the first round and this round, he has yet to score at least 30. He didn't score 30 yet. The man had 27 last night. Exactly.
You don't have to. AD been going to work. Austin Reeves been going to work. I mean, you look at a game like last night, and you know what? That's a credit to Lonnie Walker, and that goes back to the old cliche. You know what I'm saying? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And this man didn't see no tick. Once they made those trades at the trade deadline, he stopped really seeing tick like that. Really didn't see any tick during the playoff games. And he comes in and he scores 15 huge points in the fourth quarter yesterday and literally saved the Lakers' ass yesterday. So, Shout out to him. Shout out to Darvin Ham, who, I made a joke and said he bought in Lonnie Walker out of desperation. But that was actually a great coaching adjustment. He knew that they needed some fresh blood. He saw that everybody was tired on both teams. Steph was tired. Clay was tired. AD was tired. LeBron was tired. And he said, let me bring in some fresh legs. And Lonnie Walker came in and answered the call. He stayed ready. And you know what? That's just a testament to that Lakers team. As Freddie mentioned earlier, we talking about a team who didn't even look like they would sniff the playoffs, to winning a play-in game, to eliminating the second round seed. Right now what the Lakers are doing is spectacular, but I feel like the biggest story that you could write is Steph Curry gets his revenge, and I'm riding with that.
And if you look at it, going back to what Frankie was talking about with LeBron not scoring 30, if you look at the Lakers' record, they actually win more games when he scores 26 points or less than they do when he has those 30-point games, because he's getting everybody involved with facilitating with his assists.
Yep, getting contributions from everybody, and I think the LeBron is about to get Austin Reeves paid. This Lakers team, man, has showed you that sometimes you got those diamond in the rough sitting right on your squad. All you gotta do is give them some time.
If Stephen Curry wants his revenge, then he can't be taking a shot in the final 45 seconds with the game on the line.
Ooh, here we go.
All right,
your favorite player.
He's 0 for 15 in the playoffs in his career with a potential game-winning shot in the final 45 seconds.
And guess what? And if he get that shot again, I'm screaming at the TV, shoot that mother joint. Shoot it, Steph.
Compare that to Klay Thompson, who was 8 for 13 in the final 45 seconds with the game on the line. I'm sorry, I'm taking a guy that's at 63% over a guy that's at 0%.
Hey, you drop the stats. That's what you do, and you're good at what you do. But what does your eye test tell you?
My eye test tells me when the game is on the
line. My eye test told me that Steph Curry got a 30-point triple-double yesterday, and he the only one that came to play yesterday. That's what my eye test told me.
Did he win?
Because he was the only one that came to play. He was the only one that came to play. Clay act like he don't know how to shoot no more.
Shot?
Draymond act he had no choice but to take the game-winning shot. He had no choice but to take the game-winning shot. How many points did Clay have yesterday? Did Clay only have 9 points? Did Jordan Poole have 0 points? Did Draymond score in double digits? As far as I'm concerned, Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins was the only one that came to play, and Andrew Wiggins fell off at the end of the third. Didn't nobody know where he disappeared to.
Has Clay knocked down 8 game-winning shots in the playoffs? Yes. Rob, has Curry? No. Has Clay knocked down more game-winning shots in the finals than Curry? Yes.
Rob,
I'm sorry, but I'm taking that.
Hey, guess what?
I'm giving that ball to Clay.
Guess what? 2-time MVP, only unanimous MVP, Finals MVP, 4-time champion, greatest shooter ever. That's all I got to say.
If the game's on the line in the fourth quarter in Game 5, I'm giving that ball to Clay. I'm not giving it to Curry.
My favorite player better than your favorite player.
Rob, he just asked a simple question. Did they win last night?
They didn't. Lakers barely won.
But we won. A win is a win.
And you can say the same thing about Golden State in Game 2. They barely won Game 2. It could have been a 4-game sweep.
Oh, so you're undercover Lakers fan, huh, Dustin? You're undercover Lakers fan, huh?
Yeah, they beat us by 27 points in Game 2.
So not Game 2, sorry. Not Game 2, sorry.
You're undercover Lakers fan, ain't you?
No, I just tell it how it is.
No. You like to see Steph fail. You worse than these people that want to see LeBron fail.
Steph is my third favorite player in the NBA.
Who your first favorite player?
I don't want to see him fail, but
who's your favorite player?
And if you look at all the times he's attempted a game-winning shot, he has failed in the playoffs.
Who your favorite player?
It is.
Yeah, you could say that, but also his team wouldn't even had a chance for a game-winning shot last night if it went for Steph Curry.
Exactly. Bro, but it doesn't matter if you have a chance. You still have to knock down that game-winning shot. And Curry has not done that in the postseason.
Rob wants to know one thing. He don't care about anything else.
I'd give the ball to Curry to shoot.
Who's your favorite player?
Who's my favorite player like right now, currently?
Yeah.
Luka.
Trash.
I love Luka.
He quick to come out trash.
I love Luka.
That's all I'm saying. You love Luca, but you want to down Steph Curry. Okay.
I'm not down with
Okay.
Steph Curry. I'm just telling you how it is when the game's on the line and Curry has the ball.
Hey. I want Curry to shoot it before I let Luca shoot it.
I wouldn't because Luka's 3 for 5 in the playoffs and game-winning shots.
Yeah, guess what, though? Luca didn't even see the playoffs this year.
Still, 60% is better than 0%.
He ain't seen the playoffs this year. Guess what? Can't nobody play with Luca. He ain't going to never win the ring. Never. He won't even sniff championship.
I bet you none of you can guess who my second favorite player in the NBA is right now.
You like Joker. You look like a Joker liker.
No. Well, I do like Joker, but he's not number 2.
Who number 2? Giannis?
Nope. I don't like Giannis at all. He's a one-trick pony.
Jimmy Butler.
Playoff Jimmy.
It.
I got it?
Yeah, Frankie, you did get it.
Hey, no, it's 2 different Jimmy Butlers, though. Is it regular season Jimmy or playoff Jimmy?
It's Jimmy Butler. I love Jimmy Butler.
Nah, Jimmy got heart. And that's about time people start letting people know Jimmy is top 10 in the league.
I love Jimmy Buckets.
My team turned around Glenn Richards. Like last series, he was all hating on the Lakers. They go on lose to the Grizzlies. Now he's just like, he's all Lakers. I love him. I love him, Chris. Chris, I love him.
Oh, all right, fellas. I got to go. So let's get the final thoughts. I got an errand I have to run real quick before I do my next show. Frankie, what's your final thoughts, man?
My final thoughts is, let's go Lakers. Really proud of my boys. You know, hopefully we can close it out next game and get a little nice long rest. I feel like they need it. They deserve it. And keep showing the world that we're different, you know. Also, since Jay's not here, I'll be the one to do it. Follow us tonight on Unscripted. We'll be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can follow us on Twitter at Unscripted Guys, all one word. You can also follow us on TikTok at Unscripted Sports, all one word as well. Logan does a great work over there on TikTok while I run the Twitter base, and Jay's just our moderator for Unscripted. Chris will hopefully will be there. Logan will be there. Jay will be there. I'll be there. So it'll be a good show tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Stat God.
Yeah, my final thoughts are I want to see what happens with the Washington Commanders now that the Indianapolis Colts have opened a tampering investigation on Andrew Luck. I don't know if you saw this report this morning, but Washington tried to convince Andrew Luck to come out of retirement both in 2021 and in 2022 to play for Washington. So now they think there's a tampering thing going on, which means Washington is on the hook to lose draft picks if that ends up happening.
Yeah, I did read about that. Even though he's retired, Colts still have his rights.
That's crazy.
Rob Scott.
You know my final thoughts. Warriors is 7, baby. Dub Nation.
Lost Nation.
Hey, no, but I will say this though. It's been a very great playoff so far. I really enjoyed all of the playoffs. You know, seeing Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy doing this thing, man. To see the rise of Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown has really made a name for himself this season, especially during this postseason. I like Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is a dog. I also seeing the old James Harden make an appearance, man. 2 40-point games, especially when you really need it with Joel Embiid, being hurt right on cue. And I know Frankie ain't going to want to hear this, but Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have proven to be a deadly scoring combination. And
man, Kevin Durant ain't shit. He ain't
Did you say the old James Harden?
Yeah.
This has never been a James Harden in the playoffs before. This is a James Harden we've never seen in the playoffs.
No, we've seen James Harden go off in the playoffs, just not when it counts. We've seen him in the second round, first
Yeah,
round.
exactly.
Still
Not
do
when they
James
count.
Harden.
He's actually
It's
doing
still
it
the
when they
second
count.
round. It's not in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think
We've seen him in the
this is
Western
still the
Conference
same
Finals.
James Harden you'll see on Q.
We've
You
seen him in the
know,
Western Conference Finals with the Houston Rockets.
yeah. And I mean, he had some good games before Game 7 when he only shot 6 times. But yeah, man, it's been a great NBA playoffs, man. I'm definitely excited to see, what's going to be happening going forward, and definitely interested to see all the moves that are going to be made next offseason. So,
And if
NBA for the win.
And if you look at the playoffs this year, both on the NHL side and the NBA side of it, I would say 80% of the matchups so far have been divisional matchups, which is what makes the playoffs better because not only do you see these teams 4 times during the regular season where you know them as well as anybody, but the travel is a lot less. Golden State and Los Angeles, Golden State and Sacramento. So you have like so many more situations where the attendance could be 60-40 as opposed to 80-20, 90-10 because the games are so much closer.
Yep.
Facts.
The
And
West,
it's good to
the
see.
West,
Can I say this too, man? It's just been good to see y'all faces again, man. It's been a while since I've been on this show, so good to see y'all.
good to see you too, Rob.
It's always good to see Rob.
And I was gonna say quickly before we head out, everybody's forgetting that the West was literally controlled by the entire Pacific Division, the Western Pacific Division, from number 3 all the way down to number 7. It was all the teams from the Pacific, from Sacramento down to the Lakers. They're all in the same division. So they were actually
the Northwest had 2, and then the Southwest had 1. Because Denver and Minnesota are from the same division, and then Phoenix is in by themselves. So 5 of the 8 playoff teams are all from
Phoenix.
the Pacific.
No, Phoenix is in our division.
Oh yeah, that's right. Duh. But yeah, but either way, and then you look at the East too. What you had: Philly, Boston, Toronto.
It was Memphis that was by themselves.
Yeah, Philly, Boston, and Toronto are all from the same division. Bucks are the Bucks, and you could technically say the Bulls, even though the Bulls didn't get into the playoffs, but the Bulls made the play-in. And then you had Miami Heat and Atlanta Hawks from their division. So the Eastern Conference is so much more balanced out, but the West was literally one whole division gets in, and then the other 3 are oh, flip a coin, you get in, you get in, you get in.
All right. My final thoughts are join us tonight, 5 o'clock. Actually, tonight I'm going to be airing 5 pro wrestling shows. It's going to be the 5 shows that we recorded on Saturday. Starting at 5 o'clock this evening, I'll have a show at 5, show at 6, show at 7, show at 8, and a show at 9:30. If you missed our shows last night, I aired the 3 shows from Comic-Con on Friday night. Go check them out on YouTube. And then also tomorrow we'll have 4 more shows. So we've done 12 shows in 3 days, trying to get all them shows up for everybody to see. A lot of great matches. Comic-Con was awesome. Out of the 12 shows, I think 11 of the shows were standing room only. I mean, that place the room would be packed and people standing at the doors trying to look in for all but one show. So it was a awesome weekend, and we've already got invited back for next year. So that'll be awesome as well. So join us for that. And then Easy Money, a sports betting show here in about 20-25 minutes. And then we'll see you guys tomorrow. Or please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at GonzoSportsRoom and at the All Sports All Plays Network. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the ASAP Afternoon Blitz at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope everybody has a great day.